Thank you for visiting ChristopherMedia.net.
It's a new year, and with T-Mobile, it's not about how far apart we are. It's about how close we can be. So we're bringing out our best deal. Right now, get the iPhone 12 on us on every single plan with eligible iPhone trade-in.
So I can FaceTime with my sister in Savannah.
That's right, the iPhone 12 on us on every plan. All on America's 5G leader in coverage. T-Mobile.
With 24 monthly bill credits and a new line plus tax. If you cancel, credit stop and balance on required finance agreement may be due. Contact us for well-qualified buyers. Qualifying consumer plan required. See coverage and offer details at T-Mobile.com.
It's a new year, and with T-Mobile, it's not about how far apart we are. It's about how close we can be. So we're bringing out our best deal. Right now, get the iPhone 12 on us on every single plan with eligible iPhone trade-in.
So I can FaceTime with my sister in Savannah.
That's right, the iPhone 12 on us on every plan. All on America's 5G leader in coverage. T-Mobile.
With 24 monthly bill credits and a new line plus tax. If you cancel, credit stop and balance on required finance agreement may be due. Contact us for well-qualified buyers. Qualifying consumer plan required. See coverage and offer details at T-Mobile.com.
Shall we?
We shall.
Christopher Media. Let's make some noise. From Asthma Core Studios near Detroit, Michigan.
Oh, man.
It's the Weedsman Podcast.
I have no idea what's going on.
And now,
you have smoked yourself retarded.
Here are the Weedsmen.
You want to get high?
It's 269. I'm Chris.
I'm Aaron. We're back broadcasting from Michigan, the great state of Michigan.
Yes.
Where we named Donald Trump Michigan Man of the Year.
We did?
No.
Oh.
We definitely did not. That doesn't stop him from saying it.
Oh, what? Oh.
Apparently on his last visit.
Oh, boy.
On his last visit, somebody gave him a plaque that he probably didn't even read. And he just assumes, oh, somebody gave me a plaque. They think I'm the greatest. So now he goes around telling everyone, Michigan, great state of Michigan, which, you know, is going to be one of the states that he's depending on if he wants to get reelected.
We gave him a plaque. It could have said Golden Turd of the Year.
No, it's just a framed Declaration of Independence. That's what he was given.
Wow.
And he just assumed that it was saying that it was a declaration of Trump is the greatest. Yeah. We don't even do, there's no Michigan Man of the Year.
Well, maybe at like the University of Michigan. 50th anniversary of Woodstock was last week. That's a big moment for weed and nudity. Mostly for, wouldn't you say so? Wasn't that kind of like one of the first times weed hit critical mass in this country?
Well, because...
As far as coming to the front of the culture or becoming part of the culture?
Because that was such a cultural thing, you know, what am I trying to say? It was something that everybody saw, right? So it introduced hippies to the world.
Hey, there was 500,000 people at that thing.
Yeah, but I think most of those people are probably smokers already, right? They just came with their own. And I don't know that it introduced weed to anybody at Woodstock, but
it catapulted it into
being part of the hippie culture and having the whole hippie culture catapulted into the American thing, the American mindset, the American, what am I trying to say?
The zeitgeist.
Yeah, that's a good word. Yeah. And then, don't forget Shana Na.
Yeah, right.
Actually, Shana Na's insane. First of all, did you know that those guys are, all the band members of Shana Na are all like doctors and professors and lawyers and have published papers, and they're all highly educated and successful people.
Oh, that's right. They were all over the Grease soundtrack.
Well, so they predated Grease. I was listening to an interview with a couple of the band members recently because of the Woodstock anniversary. And it was quite enlightening, actually. It was on, what show was I? Oh, Studio 360, if you want to actually go and listen to the full interview. But they were talking about how, you know, this was a show that they were putting together. They wanted to be performers and musicians, and so they put together this review of music, and the these guys are taking credit from the history that they laid out in it. They were correct. They were taking credit for creating this canon of 50s music. all the shit that they do in their performances are the songs that we remember because they were part of this revival, which is even a weird thing because this is like less than 10 years from doo-wop to, in some cases, from doo-wop songs to Woodstock.
Yeah, from this to Purple Haze.
Right. And this was crazy. This was crazy retro. Like, people were like, why are they playing these old songs?
Yeah, why are they playing my dad's music?
Right. There's somebody from 2009, somebody played songs from 2009. We were like, oh, yeah, I remember this one. It was on the radio all the time. Like, okay. It wouldn't be considered retro. But it's because you have this big cultural shift at that period, too, that just made everything seem like it was so far away.
Again, back to the guitar being at the forefront, being the
right. Well,
the main.
Yeah, I take your point. We were talking about earlier, talking about the guitar coming to the forefront of music, and it was always there in the doo-wop and the rock and roll.
It was there for chord changes.
Yeah,
it wasn't there as the lead instrument. The mid to late '60s is where that all changed. You guys, your Eric Claptons, your Jimi Hendrixes, your Jimmy Pages, Keith Richards, people who played it as a lead instrument. Ripping off all old blues guys who had been doing it already for like 30 years. But
I think you also get ways you get effects, mostly, predominantly at this point built into the amp, but you get big reverb and tremolo effects that you can use to manipulate the sound in ways too. So it was a definite artistic choice by these guitar players, but it was one that was also driven by technology. So have you been following the recent vaping stories?
Yes, I'm telling you, it's all regional. It's going to be some tainted product. Well, we talked about on Regiment, for starters, all teenagers.
Yeah.
Perhaps black market.
Well hold on.
That's true. I'm jumping ahead.
Let's set the table a little bit before you jump right into it.
It's true.
Not everybody follows this, but there's been a lot of stories popping up of people who have been vaping and end up going to the hospital with lung injuries.
Yeah, they've had to be intubated and shit like that, and some people have been close to death.
Guy had a collapsed lung with a hole in it. The most recent story that I found on this reports 94 deaths. Not deaths, I'm sorry. None of these are deaths.
Nobody said.
Yeah.
0 deaths.
94 cases of what they are calling in this one article severe lung disease across 14 different states.
14? Whoa, some more jumped on the... What states do we got?
Wisconsin, Illinois, Indiana, Minnesota.
Mm-hmm.
With most of them being in Minnesota. So, like anything, these are probably cases that have been popping up here and there kind of randomly before. And now because there's seemingly this mass of them happening in one location, now everyone's reporting all of them across the country
and also
lumping it together.
There is also the phenomenon of when stuff hits the news.
Yeah.
People all of a sudden think they have it.
This is a running story now. Yeah. So, anybody who has a bad cough and also vapes is going to the hospital being like, oh, I heard on the news that vaping makes you sick, and I'm sick and I vape. So it's the old confusing causation with correlation. 94 cases, most of them happening. There's 30 of them reported in Wisconsin. Symptoms include shortness of breath, fatigue, chest pain, cough, weight loss. Don't tell people that.
Oh, right.
That's not going to make vaping go away.
Start drinking the vape juice. No, that's not how it works. Well, that way you lose much weight because it'll kill you.
Yeah, and the Wisconsin officials for the Department of Health Services have a outbreak investigation notice. That sounds serious. Is it written by Dustin Hoffman? This is serious.
Brad Pitt's in it.
Yeah, there's going to be people with the big Hydra helmets, the big beekeeper suits, running around Wisconsin. There's vape everywhere. It's coming out of the sewers. It's an epidemic. I mean, 94 people doesn't qualify as an epidemic. I thought also epidemic, it had to be, it's something that is transmissible. It's not an outbreak, right? It's not an outbreak of it.
Yeah, if you don't do it, it won't happen to you.
Right. Sounds like you have a product, and it sounds like from most reports this product is coming from the streets. And also, here's something that not everyone's reporting on, or it's certainly not putting it in their news. This isn't been tied to any store selling any product. B, also because it's not just about tobacco. They're vaping THC.
Yeah, they can't tell if it's from the THC products or the nicotine products.
Right. So you have THC and nicotine.
They just know it's from vaping.
Whatever the hell else they're putting in this, right?
Yeah. That's the thing. It's all teenagers generally, right? So it's got to be black market.
So they're all... Why has it got to be black? No. Every time,
I know.
right?
One day we'll live in a world where it's a regular market.
Yes. Every time it comes up. Yeah, they're buying this illegally because they can't buy it legally. And it's also... some of these states have, possibly all of them now, have medicinal programs, but the teenager can't get carted up. Not unless they have something serious.
There's an NPR story where at the end of the story, the guy's talking about, the liquid looked a little weird and a little bit more watery than it would. Like,
right.
Talking about he bought it from someone he doesn't normally buy it from. It's like, reading it like, come on!
On CBS, they interviewed one of the teenagers, 18-year-old, Chance Amarata. Chance, not the rapper, Amarata.
Parappa the Rapper?
And he actually went to the hospital because he had a hole in his lung, and his lung actually collapsed.
Damn!
Right. So he says that he felt like he was genuinely having a heart attack. And he said, my chest felt like it was collapsing and tightening up, and I couldn't breathe. And finally somebody just got him to the hospital, and they took care of him, and he's fine now. They had to poke something into him, I'm sure, and reinflate the lung and stitch him up.
That's not cool.
Do some, what do they call it now? Laparoscopic surgery? Is that where they just go in with the scope?
I am not a doctor.
Yeah. Me neither. I wasn't in Sha-Na-Na. All right, don't ask me. So
I drink Dr. Pepper.
So this story is, the headline of it is, teen blames vaping after his lung collapses. All right. First of all, let's just look at the headline. Teen blames. Not doctor, not scientist, not study.
Yeah.
The teen thinks it was the vape. All right.
Well, we are letting kids call the shots now.
Right. Are we letting them diagnose themselves as well? He's got a social media campaign now, #LungLove. And he's saying that he's claiming that it was a Juul, not a black market vaping device, but a Juul that he was 18 and he was purchasing legally, I would take it. Although he did say that he's been vaping since he was 16, so he's mostly been obtaining them illegally.
37?
What's that?
How old is he? 37?
He's 18. He's 18 now. He's been vaping since he was 16. It says in the story, how do you print this? I mean, sure, this is a truthful statement. He now believes Jules caused his lung injury. That is a true statement. He believes it. Why are you printing it? Why are you printing what an 18-year-old thinks about his diagnosis?
Speculation.
He posts, you inspire me to stop as well as many other teenagers. Oh, that's somebody responding to him. Used to vape for about 2 years now. I finally decided to stop. Great. What are you going to do? What's taking the place of it? Mm-hmm. Cigarettes? Probably for a lot of people. I mean, there are people, especially again when we're talking about teens, these are people who never smoked a cigarette, got into vaping because that looked like the cool thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
But they are now addicted to nicotine, so there's plenty of other sources of that. there's a lot of thought that like, oh, if we restrict these vaping products, that's not going to increase smoking because teens didn't start off smoking; they started off vaping. Right, but what's the other readily available nicotine source that's available on the open market to those 18 and older? It's cigarettes.
Dirty cigarettes.
Right? Oh, sure, yeah. They might just chew. Right, or they might just do... I mean, we could all just do lozenges, right? That's good. We can just do lozenges until everyone gets upset. Oh, you shouldn't, sir, can you please not...
Lozenge next to me.
Can you not lozenge next to me? I can hear it clacking against your teeth when you talk, and it's just making me physically ill. Sir, I'm going to ask you to not spit.
Point of personal privilege.
Can you not spit on the street in front of my house with your vile lozenge juice that you're spitting out? You're spewing your nicotine poison into the air and the environment. Right? We respect our environment in this neighborhood. That's what it's going to turn into, right?
I have a couple drinks when I travel. There are times where I want to hit this walk through the airport and just hold it in and watch someone lose their mind and go, what? I didn't exhale anything. Right. What's the fucking problem?
Right.
This isn't a cigarette. It's not burning while I'm standing here.
I'm doing this inside my body.
Yeah.
It's all staying inside my body.
Watch 100 people around me lose their mind and then not exhale anything. Like, I didn't exhale anything. What are you going to do?
They'd still.
No, just I had a
somebody would hit you in the gut and then you'd blow it out and they're like, get him!
Get him!
And then they all gang up at you.
I had a flight attendant a couple weeks ago. I put it in the
seat.
Like
Flight 93, your ass.
I put it in the seat back. They're like, sir, you can't do that. I'm like, I know. This is big. I don't want it in my pocket while I'm sitting down.
You can't do that. You can't just... They were just making sure that...
You can't just use the pockets in that seat to put things in. I brought it out in a bar because I could smell the juice in my pocket. It was leaking. I grabbed a napkin. Sir, you can't do that in here. I know. I'm wiping it off. I never even put it to my...
They just saw
in both of these cases, I never put it to my mouth.
At the Smashing Pumpkins concert, we went all the way up to this like kind of open deck bar area and completely open, like not enclosed at all. And I started vaping up there, and the guy was like, there's no smoking or vaping up here. I'm sorry. I'm like, there's also nobody up here, right?
Did you go,
Is this
I'm
bothering
outside?
You? We're all outside. It's an outdoor venue.
I'm sure I told you about this when at work. The lady who was smoking a cigarette, now standing next to her, she asked if I could move.
Yeah. Well, they have, right, so the way that Pine Knob is laid out, you have your inner area with the seats, right? And then there's like the kind of runway where you can walk along that separates that from the lawn. And they have that all painted out with yellow lines on the walkway. And you have to stay behind the yellow line if you want to smoke or vape. It has to be in the designated lawn area. Like you cannot step. I got told
what the hell is wrong with you people?
To get my feet off the line. I'm standing out in the middle of an open venue, nothing above our heads, nothing anywhere.
It's about telling you what to do.
People are standing behind me.
It's about telling you what to do.
People are standing right behind me, not complaining, also smoking and vaping. People are walking along in front of me, not smoking and vaping because they can't on that side of the yellow line. And I'm standing on the line vaping.
Get up! Is that what you heard?
Sir, I'm going to need you to step back into the designated area.
Sir, what I need you to do right now, step in the back in the area right now. Sir, if you please hit that back in the area right now.
Wow. Somebody with a GED and a small amount of power is wielding that to the best they can. They're going to make the most of it.
Oh, you know what you should have done? You should have stood behind the line and then blew your cloud in front of the line. And then what are you going to do? What are you going to do? I'm smoking behind it. The cloud just went in front of it.
Yeah.
Like, trust me, I get it with cigarettes. I'm an old smoker. I get it with the cigarette smoke, the ash, the smell lingers. But with vaping, I do not understand it. I just don't.
Right. But so back to the recent controversy over vaping, though. This kid had this 18-year-old kid had a hole in his lung. That is not the predominant symptom of what. So there's no proof. Again, this is just
smoking.
This is just correlation. He was smoking Juuls. He ended up with a hole in his lung. You know what? Sometimes it happens. Sometimes you just have holes in your lungs because you have a disease or something, right? We have no idea what his family medical history is like. If this has happened to anyone before. I'm flabbergasted at why CBS didn't interview the doctor that diagnosed him.
Hey, the kid thinks Juul did it. We can print that.
Nope. Teen believes. Oh, that's all we need. Because it starts with, hey, we need a story about this vaping thing going on. Okay, go find a story.
Well, the teen said he thinks so print it. We don't need a recommendation of a silly doctor.
What do? You ban vaping products because they're harming people. You increase smoking, so something that we already know provably and consistently kills people. Meanwhile, there's stories all this week about how if you live in a big city, you might as well smoke a pack a day because that's what you're doing when you're just going and walking around.
Neat.
Every person breathes thousands of gallons of air each day. They say, have you ever thought about it in that respect?
Well, I mean, that's
thousands of gallons of air.
That's stuff that I've always kind of thought anyways. You know, people used to give me shit for smoking. I'm like, you ever breathe outside? We live in an industrial society.
Yeah. We cross over, on freeways. We go over whole, multiple city blocks full of factories just belching shit out into the air.
With smoking, yes, I'm choosing to do some, follow me here, additional damage.
Sure.
But don't act like
at least I get something out of this one.
Don't act like you're free and clear.
At least I'm in control now.
You know, put it this way. If you go outside at night and you look up and you don't see a million stars, you're not breathing in pure oxygen, Chief.
Set aside the air outside, the air in our cars and our houses, off gases from more and more we're using plastics and everything. Every plastic is going to off gas. We're breathing all that shit in. So what is your theory behind all this vaping thing? Like, why all
this is a tainted product?
I think there's three options. A, you have a product that is tainted. B, you have a media that is looking for a story and tying together a bunch of unrelated incidents. Or C, sabotage.
What?
What if this is all being pushed by somebody who's not too happy with Juul? And the fact that this goes to people buying illegal black market vaping devices that, who knows what kind of metals they're made out of, what kind of additives they put in there. Plus, it's not even just a nicotine product. It has THC as well, or instead, possibly both. And
someone's wearing a fake mustache.
And then CBS is
switching out the Juul pods.
And then CBS goes with the story, teen says, Juul put a hole in my lung. I mean, that seems like somebody's got an agenda. It doesn't seem to bother Juul too much. They just raised another round of capital to the tune of $325 million to expand their business. So I doubt that. I mean, this happened right in the midst of all this this crackdown on vaping. I mean, the U.S. has been very vocal. The government has been very vocal about looking into vaping devices, and Juul has been one. That's the big name brand that everyone knows.
Yeah.
That's the Kleenex of it. People are just talking about Juul now. And so if there's a big target to take down to show your constituents that you're fighting evil on the front lines, Juul's going to be it. But yeah, I doubt that they could actually do anything they can get them to stop making fruity flavors maybe. But even then, I don't think that's going to really last. Yeah, you don't see a bigger conspiracy here. It's just me. What if it is a bad product that's put out there by somebody who wants Juul out of the competition? It's the beer industry.
Oh.
Or no, what would be It's just a cigarette industry. Does Juul have major investors involved in the cigarette industry? I wonder.
They have to they have TV commercials.
I don't know. Let's see. Maybe it says here. I'll take a quick look. 35% owned by Marlboro. Okay.
Yeah. Philip Morris is in there. So, yeah, there you go.
Right.
So they're off the list.
There's another key as to why.
Oh, it's an R.J. Reynolds operative.
Right.
Poisoning the Juul pods.
This is another reason why the government isn't going to do anything about it, ultimately.
Big Tobacco's got its finger in it already. Ooh, big vape.
Look, they'll probably figure out a way.
Big cloud.
They'll definitely figure out a way to put unnecessary regulations on it and probably tax the hell out of it. You know, have it come with a warning label, and you have to wear a shirt that declares you as a bad person when you use this product. You have to have like a placard and ring a bell as you walk down the street that says I'm evil and going to hell.
Yeah. Yeah, and I've
says sorry for polluting your air.
Every time they have the vaping commercials, right, whether it's for Juul or for some other thing, they always have that, you know, it's the same thing that they have on this product. This product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical. Why don't they do that before the Starbucks commercials? It ends in INE, means it's a stimulant.
Oh, right.
Means caffeine's been proven to be addictive. Huh? Why is it this product contains caffeine? Caffeine is an addictive chemical. Right. We know why.
Yeah. Well, has it ever put a hole in a teen's lung according to that teen?
Maybe their heart.
Right.
Which, oh my God, it's a tangent. It's kind of related. Have you seen they have Starbucks with double the caffeine? I was like, what? Why? Just get
the double shots.
No, it's called Starbucks. You could sell it and brew it in your own house.
The Starbucks Jolt.
It is actually billed as the Starbucks with double the caffeine. It's like, oh my God, so you just don't sleep for the day? If you don't want to sleep till tomorrow,
I just got to shiver thinking about that.
I'm saying. Drink this. You need to be up for a solid 48. Drink a glass of this.
Right. There's still some corrosion on that silverware, and it's mocking you.
Yeah.
Drink this and stay up all night and finish that job.
Like, I have to nurse a regular Starbucks for like 6 hours. Double the caffeine? Good God, man. Starbucks Extra. Because sleep is for pussies.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. My vape is killing me.
You're coughing a hole in your lung.
I have a hole in my lung. I know. I should go to a doctor, but I'm just waiting for it to
It's all about your opinion.
I'm just going to wait for it to scab over. Right. I mean, what's the point of going to the doctor?
Yeah, you've already got it figured out.
This kid, 18 years old, and he's self-diagnosing.
Yeah.
He probably operated on himself, too.
He's got an internet connection.
Speaking of Juul and raising $325 million, I'm sure that idea has never passed this poor teen's mind. That Juul might be the ones with the deep pockets to foot his hospital bill.
Well, I know she's got big boobs. Wait, wrong Juul.
Smoking Juul turned to living in your car.
Yeah, you're gonna living in your van. You're gonna move to Alaska.
The Weedsman Podcast. ChristopherMedia.net.
It's a new year, and with T-Mobile, it's not about how far apart we are. It's about how close we can be. So we're bringing out our best deal. Right now, get the iPhone 12 on us on every single plan with eligible iPhone trade-in.
So I can FaceTime with my sister in Savannah.
That's right, the iPhone 12 on us on every plan. All on America's 5G leader in coverage. T-Mobile.
With 24 monthly bill credits and a new line plus tax. If you cancel, credit stop and balance on required finance agreement may be due. Contact us for well-qualified buyers. Qualifying consumer plan required. See coverage and offer details at T-Mobile.com.
Good afternoon. Would you like to try a free sample of our double fudge brownie?
Oh, sure. That's very good. I'll just take one more, just to be sure. Yep, still very good.
Some things never change. Like never being able to take just one free sample. And Geico saving folks lots of money on their car insurance.
Is that macadamia nut I taste? Let me take one more.
Sir?
Yeah, I thought so.
15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
It's a new year, and with T-Mobile, it's not about how far apart we are. It's about how close we can be. So we're bringing out our best deal. Right now, get the iPhone 12 on us on every single plan with eligible iPhone trade-in.
So I can FaceTime with my sister in Savannah.
That's right, the iPhone 12 on us on every plan. All on America's 5G leader in coverage. T-Mobile.
With 24 monthly bill credits and a new line plus tax. If you cancel credit, stop and balance on required finance agreement may be due. Contact us for well-qualified buyers. Qualifying consumer plan required. See coverage and offer details at T-Mobile.com.
ChristopherMedia.net. The Weedsmen Podcast.
Yesterday, as of recording this, was the premiere of The Righteous Gemstones. We had mentioned this when I was going on a long rant about Walton Goggins and how much I love him. But unfortunately, he wasn't in the episode, but the preview shows that he is upcoming in this season. But I'd say this is definitely a show I'm going to watch. It's a little different format. It's an hour long, and traditionally we've seen these really snappy 30-minute comedies from Danny McBride. So an hour format, you've got more chances to draw out the story. It's not just like he's packing 2 episodes in one. And I don't know, first episode, I'm not going to totally judge it based on the first episode.
Hey, John Goodman.
But it was a little uneven, but still really funny.
Adam Devine.
Yeah, it's a family. So you got the father, the main pastor, what else, whatever they call it.
That's Danny. I don't think I've ever seen Danny McBride without a mustache or a.
Yeah, he's got a clean face.
I actually think the last time I saw him with a clean face was Pineapple Express when he was red.
Yeah. So John Goodman's the father, and Adam and Danny are his sons.
I grew up in a rural area.
And I don't know if her with the really wavy hair.
She was in Vice Principals.
From Vice Principals. I don't know if her name's Edie or Eddie, but it's E-D-I. I'm guessing it's Edie. But Edie Patterson, we'll just say. She's fantastic. She was one of my favorite parts of Vice Principals as well. And she gets a much meatier part. She's the sister. So, of course, she doesn't get to be a preacher or whatever fucking religious shit they're doing.
You kind of are. I mean, that's pretty much exactly what this is.
There's Walton Goggins in some crazy makeup.
Names out your mouth.
Y'all stop trying to step to me.
Yeah, so.
Do it again. See what I do. You look dumb with them glasses on. Not even wearing them. It's fashion.
Good night.
Daytime dummy.
Maybe Johnny Caesars was right. Maybe this family has become an abomination. What?
Daddy, you just threw Jesus across the room.
No, it was a karate person.
No, that wasn't a karate person. That was Jesus.
So they're a Southern family, as you can tell. And not everybody is exactly getting the accent. I mean, Danny McBride has a little bit of drawl to his voice anyway, and he kind of, uses that. So he doesn't really change much. John Goodman, we've seen him do many types of different accents and stuff, and he's, of course, really good. Adam Devine, maybe he gets better as they go on. It's a little shaky. Ooh. And, I love Adam Devine. I think he's really funny. Putting him and Danny McBride together, I think, is a really good idea. But these are 2 actors who, well, I guess I'll just go ahead and be offensive because who am I anyway? They're not great actors. They're funny people. They're comedians who write usually their own roles for them that fit their personalities really well.
Yeah, I can agree with that. Yeah, Danny McBride essentially plays the same character.
Yeah, and there's a lot of elements from these previous characters in Danny McBride, although I will say that he has gone, I think he's further along. He seems more like a well-rounded character and not just a version of himself in this. Adam Devine, less so. He doesn't really need to do much. I tell you what, he's buffed up. That's for fucking sure.
He's beefcake. He's there to look good.
Yeah. He's got back muscles like a Marvel superhero.
He's there so your wife wants to watch it.
The brothers, so the one brother that Danny McBride plays is married. His wife, Cassidy Freeman, plays her. I forget what the character's name is. One of the highlights of that first episode, certainly. She is just fantastic. She's super funny, great actor, nails the fucking accent. Probably better than anybody on that show so far. Adam Devine's character, I don't think we've seen him with a girl, but he does have a roommate that we see him working out, this buff dude with long hair and this goatee, and he's got an upside-down cross tattooed on his chest, and 666 above that, which he later in that scene reveals himself to be, well, not to Adam's character, but to the audience, that he was an ex-Satanist.
He was saved.
So he was saved.
Born again.
And he's just super low-key. Always just talks in this kind of monotone. Nothing ever registers on his face, even when he's talking about dramatic stuff. He's really funny. I think they're kind of teasing that Adam, his character, is gay. And, of course, in the closet because...
religion.
Right. Of course. They all live on this compound, and the sister, played by Edie, has a fiance that lives with her, but she can't let anyone know because she's not supposed to live with anyone until she's married. And also, they don't like the guy.
And hilarity ensues.
There is a lot of hilarity that is ensuing in that show. I found it really funny. I'm definitely going to tune in again. Like I said, the drama stuff. Especially there was a little bit of an intense scene between Danny's character and Adam's character, and it just kind of fell flat. But I'm not going to shit on the whole show because of that. Maybe this is one of those things that they'll work their way into.
You got to keep in mind too. I think we've talked about it before. First season of a show, right? It's finding out what it is. First season of a show, definitely, but first episode of a show is tough. I mean, that's the hardest one to make. You're making a brand new thing. After that, you've got the template. Yeah.
Where some place to go. Making that first one, it's got to be a good impression for people who are going to back this and broadcast it, hopefully. And then again, for the audience that watches it.
Try to lay out a story for an entire
and not have
series.
And have it still
in one episode.
Have it not drag. So it doesn't drag. It's not bad writing in any way. I just think there's this balance that they want to carry between, and a lot of shows are doing this now, balancing that humor and drama in equal measures. And there's a bit of a twist to this. It's a pretty dramatic show. There's a blackmail involved. And
like Idris Elba?
No. There is one blackmail in the cast, definitely. I can't remember his name, but he's one of those dudes where you've just seen him in everything.
Kevin Hart?
Gregory Allen Williams. But yeah, I mean, for people who are just big fans of Danny McBride, there's certainly a lot of him in here. This is another project that he's written, directed. And there's some of those familiar elements, like when he comes home after a trip and his kids are already asleep, or so he thinks. His older son, he goes to kiss on the forehead while he's sleeping. And the kid goes, faggot. He's like, you trying to kiss me while I'm sleeping? Between stuff like that and the bickering between the brothers, they've got an endless supply of comedy from that. But I feel like they're gonna go a lot further. This is gonna dig a lot deeper, it seems like, than his other shows. Also, the wardrobe is just killing it.
Is it a period piece?
It's not. The way that Danny McBride's character is dressed, you almost think it is, but then you see him with this iPhone and you're like, no, this is contemporary. He just dresses like that. And he's got like the patterned shirt, unbuttoned with gold chain, white pants with the belt buckle, gold belt buckle. But everyone's got this subtly distinct style. I mean, his is not too subtle, but Adam's character is very jocked out, like big open V-necks and tight pants, pegged pants and shit like that. The, yeah, kind of like that, but not all in black. This is like one of the best scenes from this show.
Yeah, I know.
I remember watching this the first time. And it's a simple shot. We see this all the time. The cool walking scene. Everybody's cheering you on, but Kenny Powers does that probably better than most. April.
You're getting Mandy to try and watch us. We can't.
Yeah, cut to him just dancing down the hallway, and everyone's like not even paying attention. So yeah, I think that there's a lot of familiar elements that Danny McBride brings to us with the potential to carve out a lot more than we've seen from him, especially. We'll see where it goes. I think it's got a lot of promise to it. It's not walking that great comedy drama line like a show like Succession is. I mean,
we know we have plans. A Friday off, we're gonna watch both in a row.
I just want a supercut of Roman telling me to fuck off.
I did read that he stays in character in between takes and like make fun of the
I don't see how you
crew.
couldn't, because you have to like keep that energy up. He's so good at it, and when he shifts too, like there was one of my favorite scenes when he's talking to cousin Greg in season 1, and he does it again with, I forget what's the woman, the older woman that kind of manages the everything for the business. You know, she's in on all the deals and all that shit.
I forget,
you know who I'm
but
talking
she's the
about
one that they wanted to take over. He's the one that...
Right, so there's some deal that Roman is involved in, and he calls her, and he's just like, I just wish you could be here. And she's like, what? And he goes, well, fuck you. He just goes straight from like his normal ranting to showing just a sliver of emotion, and then immediately to fuck you.
Back to sociopath.
Yeah. Every time like a little bit of the real Roman peeks out, he's immediately got to start cursing or insulting somebody. Yeah, and standout line. I mean, I know we're only 2 episodes in so far, but I don't know if anything's going to beat a dildo rolled in beard trimmings. That's a description of anyone, really. But yeah, I guess that sums up my review of the Righteous Gemstones. Not as good as Succession. No, my honest...
Use that in the trailer.
My honest review is I think it's going to have much broader appeal even than Danny McBride's other projects. I had so much more that I want to talk about. We didn't even talk about He-Man's coming back with Kevin Smith. He's going to be writing with his sometimes partner Mark Bernardin episodes for a new cartoon series that's going to continue the story from the original series. Which
going back to Eternia?
Yes, but maybe another time. Okay, so cannabis. We'll kind of shotgun through the news since I ranted so much about TV and whatnot. But there is definitely a drought in Detroit on the black market. I don't know what you've seen in the dispensaries. Has there been any change in product price availability?
No. There has not been a change in product. Yeah. It's the same. It was like the same strains as that were in there last week, almost to the T.
Well, I think they're stocking up. The dispensaries are stocking up and getting ready because it's drained off the streets.
Why is that?
Why is it? Because no, that is why. That wasn't. That was what I was saying.
Oh, just everyone's going to the black market buying
all the weed that is now harder to find. That used to be easy to find on the black market. It must be being bought up by the dispensaries.
Oh, sorry, we smoke weed.
Yeah,
when we do this show.
Right. No, the availability has just crashed on cannabis on the black market in Michigan, and the price has skyrocketed. They're reporting prices for pounds of weed to be $4,000 to $6,000.
What? I'm going to get a pound of weed.
That might sound good as
pay off my mortgage in 3 months.
Right. Well, that's what you would have to pay for it. You'd get more than that for it. It will probably balance out, but for right now, the system's actually working. I mean, where else would it be going? It's not like there's being less produced.
Canada.
It's not like demand has gone up dramatically all of a sudden.
Is there any going over the border? Think about it. We do have Canada. We do have access to the border.
Right, but not so much of it going over the border that you would not be able to sell locally. First of all, where are you going to preferably sell? To somebody you don't have to cross a border to sell to, or somebody that you have to go over a federally controlled border? Right, so it's going to be sold locally first. Canada can't suck the pot out of out of Detroit. It might only get some surplus. But even then, you've got British Columbia. Why would you import weed from Detroit?
Proximity.
Yeah, I'm sure there's plenty of drugs going back and forth over the border as standard practice, but your heavy traffic that's not where it's going. I mean, maybe it's going out of state, but even then where? To Ohio? Ohio's
Illinois? Could be people in Chicago area buying up all the weed.
Even though you don't have to deal with a federally controlled border, you still have to deal with running stuff over a border and a longer trip. The only explanation for why the weed isn't on the black market is the legal market sucked it up. Where else is it going to go? Which would tell one that the current dispensaries for the medicinal program in Michigan feel very confident about their future in the business. Especially, they should. I mean, part of the regulations is that the first year of legal weed is going to be distributed solely by those who had prior acquisition of a medical dispensary license.
Also, I'm very high right now.
Yes. I mean, if we didn't have this pesky federal government to deal with, then we could be getting all this shit from Ohio. Ohio doesn't have all the shit. Oregon, that's the one with the O.
Yeah.
All this shit that's like being sold for like pennies on the dollar, literally.
I don't get Oregon's problem. Just ship it south. California is directly south of you.
But if you're well, first of all, there's the FDA and the FBI are both cracking down on even legal cannabis, making sure that they're not breaking any laws in their handling of the drugs or selling of the drugs.
Oh, I think I'm skipping a key point in this whole thing, that you probably can't ship it even between states where it's legal.
Yes, you can't. So they can't. They would have to break the law to do that.
Well, let's go, Oregon. Let's get smoking.
Reports in Oregon of an ounce of weed going for as little as $5 because they just have to get rid of this product, put something on the books, show they moved it, get it out of their warehouse before it fucking rots, before it just grows moss.
Party in Oregon.
Imagine
Good news, everybody. We're going to Portland.
Imagine if in Detroit we have the legal market about to open up, a lot of confidence in the strength of that market that is sucking product off of the black market. What must be happening in Oregon? If you're getting it for $5 at the legal shop for an O, like that.
Let's go, hipsters.
Oregon's black market is thriving right now. How could it not be? I mean, why wouldn't you go and buy a cheapo from the legal market and then turn that around to, people who maybe they don't live near a dispensary, or maybe they're not supposed to be purchasing it for one reason or another.
The Weedsman Podcast. ChristopherMedia.net.
It's a new year, and with T-Mobile, it's not about how far apart we are. It's about how close we can be. So we're bringing out our best deal. Right now, get the iPhone 12 on us on every single plan with eligible iPhone trade-in.
So I can FaceTime with my sister in Savannah.
That's right, the iPhone 12 on us on every plan. All on America's 5G leader in coverage. T-Mobile.
With 24 monthly bill credits and a new line plus tax. If you cancel, credit stop and balance on required finance agreement may be due. Contact us for well-qualified buyers. Qualifying consumer plan required. See coverage and offer details at T-Mobile.com.
It's a new year, and with T-Mobile, it's not about how far apart we are. It's about how close we can be. So we're bringing out our best deal. Right now, get the iPhone 12 on us on every single plan with eligible iPhone trade-in.
So I can FaceTime with my sister in Savannah.
That's right, the iPhone 12 on us on every plan. All on America's 5G leader in coverage. T-Mobile.
With 24 monthly bill credits and a new line plus tax. If you cancel, credit stop and balance on required finance agreement may be due. Contact us for well-qualified buyers. Qualifying consumer plan required. See coverage and offer details at T-Mobile.com.
It's a new year, and with T-Mobile, it's not about how far apart we are. It's about how close we can be. So we're bringing out our best deal. Right now, get the iPhone 12 on us on every single plan with eligible iPhone trade-in.
So I can FaceTime with my sister in Savannah.
That's right, the iPhone 12 on us on every plan. All on America's 5G leader in coverage. T-Mobile.
With 24 monthly bill credits and a new line plus tax. If you cancel, credit stop and balance on required finance agreement may be due. Contact us for well-qualified buyers. Qualifying consumer plan required. See coverage and offer details at T-Mobile.com.
ChristopherMedia.net. The Weedsman Podcast.
So the FBI and the FDA are both cracking down on cannabis. It wasn't the FDA, but another government organization made a ruling on hemp-derived CBD, actually, and saying that you can't put that in food products. That might be a snag in the burgeoning hemp market, of which Aurora, one of the big players in the cannabis market in the U.S., recently acquired this large hemp producer. That its specialty was hemp for CBD in food products.
Oops.
We'll see what happens with that. The FDA was also looking into the amount of, I believe the FBI might be interested in this too, the amount of CBD that are in the products, in the cannabis products, the THC products on the legal market. Because in the same way that you have to have in many places, you have to have a cap on how much percentage of THC you have in your product, you also have to have a decent amount of CBD in there, because CBD is actually the element that controls the THC. So if you strip out all the CBD in your product, you'll have not only high potency THC, but a very effective THC.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. So that's how people are kind of goosing the system a little bit and saying, oh, yeah, this is 22% THC, but they've removed all the CBD, so you have like this, yes, you have that.
That's what it feels like.
So this might stymie the market for some of the food products that we have seen already, and like we were talking about last week, I think it was, when Arizona getting into the vape and gummies type of business. We might not get the Arizona Energy THC, but there's a better product. Ripple, the dissolvable powder.
Yes. Man.
Each packet containing 10 milligrams of THC. You just carry it with you, like your stevia or a Taco Bell hot sauce packet, just in case. Or a fork if you're Joey Tribbiani.
Well, I see there's some humor in the presentation of the products. It's got two different kinds. Just at the bottom of each of them, great for surviving triathlons and trickbacks, showing anxiety who's boss, making aging suck less. Another one is great for PTA meetings, Sunday fun day, dinner with the in-laws, sleeping with the fishes, in a good way.
Does that one have THC as well?
Oh, this one's THC and CBD.
The one for PTA meetings?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's 5 milligrams THC and 5 milligrams CBD.
I wanted to make sure I understood the full implication there. I mean, look, if you have to go to a PTA meeting or something, by all means, do it high or drunk. As long as you're not driving, I think you're fine.
Oh, wait, there's one that's just THC. Great for pitch-perfect marathons, nature hikes, recapturing the vibrance of wasted youth.
The Pure 10, that's what you want to get right there.
Yes.
It's a welcome addition of virgin bases, seltzers, smoothies, coffees, etc. I mean, who wants to get a new favorite drink to figure out which of these THC-infused drinks is going to be the one that I like? I mean, some people are into experimenting, but mostly I like to know, especially when it comes to drinks. I'm not very experimental with my drinks. Pretty straightforward.
Oh, you just want to drink what you always drink.
Right.
And toss this in there.
I can drink my Arizona Energy. I can drink water. I can drink coffee.
Oh, so you... Shut up and take my money is the button that says where you go buy it.
Or you could even you could mix this in with like your what are the powders that they use for bodybuilding?
Like the protein powder.
Yeah,
well, the shit's all over Colorado.
Yeah, you could mix protein powder and THC powder into your favorite banana smoothie for your workout. Dude, Mike Tyson would go nuts on this shit. You know how much weed that dude smokes?
$40,000
Oh my God,
a week.
you do know.
I
you
saw
know
that.
exactly how much he smokes. 40,000
a week.
Oh,
I mean, what's the markup on his weed though?
No. It's a month.
Oh, a month?
By the time look at the story on CNN.
But still.
What do we smoke a month? He asked his co-host, former NFL player turned marijuana advocate Evan Britton. Oh, wait, maybe this says, is it 40,000 a month? Britton said, we smoke 10 tons of weed at the ranch a month. Referencing Tyson Ranch.
There's no way. There's no way.
Right?
That means someone's got to always be smoking.
Yeah, so, I mean, that's what he says. He's guessing about. This is a man who's been hit in the head a lot.
It's true. He had a face tattoo.
So, I mean, and probably has not a good handle on how much things cost, right? Like, okay, you have to play Price is Right, but you have to play the Price is Right with a teammate. Who are you going to pick? Are you going to pick
Stephen Hawking's corpse?
No, Stephen. I don't think that's a real example. I don't think he did his own shopping. No, are you going to pick your next door neighbor, or are you going to pick Mike Tyson? To guess how much a hairdryer and a loaf of bread costs.
My next door neighbor.
Yeah.
Mike Tyson hasn't bought a loaf of bread since the 80s.
Right. So Mike Tyson's perception of money is probably about as distorted as a perception of money could possibly be. How long has it been since he's not had to actively think about it? He sees things, he buys them. He has money, he spends it. He does things, people give him money. He doesn't do things. People still give him money. There is no correlation anymore of like this much money equals this much work equals this much money. There's just an ocean of money that he swims through.
Oh, thank God.
So, but I mean, 40,000 a month. I mean, what is that? How much does that buy you?
I mean,
how many? Let's say bulk discount, and he's getting these at like 40 and an eighth, right? Let's just say that. I mean, maybe we could even double that
because he's rich. Let's say
he's probably okay. So he's smoking super premium shit. I mean, or maybe that's why he's smoking like 10 tons in a month. It's because he's cheaping out on the weed. He doesn't seem like a man who half-asses things, does he?
Like he's paying like $800 an ounce.
Okay, so how many ounces does he get? How many times does 800 go into 40,000?
50 ounces.
50 ounces.
They're smoking 3 pounds of weed a month.
A month.
At Mike Tyson's house. It's a lot of fucking weed, man.
Well, how many people are hanging out at Mike Tyson's place at any given
that means someone's got to always be there, always hanging out,
right.
Always smoking, if that's what they're doing.
And again...
Or this shit's like $200 an eighth.
If Mike Tyson might be the person the least alone at any given moment. Outside of, people who go to parties or big public events, if you just want to talk about the number of people they encounter in their home on a daily basis, I bet he'd be really high up on that list. So I guess that does seem pretty reasonable, doesn't it? 40 grand seems modest for a month, don't you think?
3 pounds of weed? That's a lot of weed.
You're smoking over an ounce a week, right? You have 50 ounces. You have 30 days in the month. You're smoking an ounce plus each day. But how many people is that? 4, 8?
Does he only smoke blunts?
I'm sure
I had a friend who had that policy for a while.
Right, and do you think... Here's something that's never said at the Tyson Ranch. Where's that Roach clip?
Yeah.
Right? Nobody has ever uttered those words at the Tyson Ranch. I guarantee you. Like, gun to my kid's head.
It's usually just fire up
I would
that blunt.
bet on it.
Fire up that next blunt.
If anything, somebody tries to like pinch it and they get slapped out of their hand. They're like, pick up another blunt and smoke that one. Like,
there is a new
what are you
blunt
doing?
Directly in front of you.
What are we, white people? Why are you trying to smoke all of that blunt?
Come on, Whitey.
My style is impetuous. My defense is impregnable. And I'm just ferocious. I want your heart. I want to eat his children.
There it is. This is before the weed. He says he's going to eat a man's children.
I'll eat your heart, eat your children. Assalamualaikum. Is that what he said?
Yeah. I'll eat his children right before he goes into the religion of peace bullshit.
Right.
So this is before the weed. I don't think he's talked about eating anybody's children.
What was I listening to when they were talking? Yeah, everyone wants to talk about... it's probably on Bill Maher's show. They're like, everyone wants to talk about Islam as a religion of peace, but that's peace after we eradicate everyone, right?
Yeah.
All non-believers get eradicated from the earth. Then
there's peace.
Then Islam can truly be a religion of peace.
Yes.
You just got to get all these fucking Christians out of the way.
Yeah, I was forgetting Mike said he would eat somebody's children. So he's 40K a weed a month to not talk like that anymore.
And he seemed like this wasn't some prepared speech that he had. He was freestyling.
Yeah.
And that's...
All right, this week.
Chem
and cookies.
I gotta, not to get you off track right here, but I gotta listen to more of this era of Blur, man. Not that there was a bad era, but like, yeah.
Well, further off track. I was thinking the other day, because I was listening to something where they were talking about music, or something, I don't know. Just the Blur Oasis feud was brought up.
Yeah, it's such nonsense because Blur is so... Like, Oasis are cool. Oh, Noel Gallagher and the high-flying ass wipes. What are they called?
What? I don't know.
That's his new project. He was opened up for the Smashing Pumpkins. I forgot to tell you that.
Really? Oh, no shit.
They did Wonderwall. It's like... At least he... I would have said, and now everyone, Wonderwall. Like, introduce it like you're at an open mic, because that's the only place your music gets played anymore. I don't know. He was fine. He sounded like he was trying to, a little bit of the Small Faces, Rolling Stones type of throwback stuff. Mm-hmm. Sounded a little more like a bar band. He had a great band. He had like good backup singers, little horn section. They were fun.
But I'd reflected on that feud. And I was like, yeah, when I was in high school, Oasis. Now as an adult, no, Blur, all the way.
Yeah, I was listening to the
Oasis can get out of here.
The Great Escape the other day because I was just like, I haven't listened to this song or this album in forever, and it's so fucking great. And they're all over the place on that album, but they have a consistency of product. They like Oasis got a good drum and guitar sound and went with it. And they, latched themselves on to the big music scene that was, they were coming off the tail end of shoegaze, and they were putting some of that rock and roll back into that big wall of sound. But Blur was just doing whatever the fuck they wanted.
Yeah.
So we want to do techno. We want to do old jazzy stuff. We want to do rockin' songs. We want to do punk.
Yeah.
We want to, whatever the fuck we want to do, we're going to put it on there. But everything always sounded great.
Yes.
That first album is a little iffy on the production, and after that, they are a great fucking studio band.
All right, so Chem and Cookies, also known as Chem Scout, is an indica dominant hybrid. It's a cross between Chem Dog 91 and Girl Scout Cookies. Delivers a blast of cerebral euphoria.
What is the brass?
That tapers into full body relaxation with time. Make you relaxed, sleepy, focused, tingly, hungry. Good for stress, depression, lack of appetite, pain, and insomnia. Negative. Oh, there it is. Number one.
The bar is all the way
up for
maxed
dry mouth.
out for dry mouth. Guaranteed.
Yes. Dry eyes, dizzy, headache, little paranoid. Apparently makes you go off on tangents.
Well, someday I got to stop blaming the weed for that. Just admit that I like tangents.
It's true.
A lot of podcasts talk about how, we can't go off on a tangent because people get mad about it. I'm like, who's fucking getting mad, right? We listen to podcasts predominantly.
2 assholes on Twitter.
I don't listen to stuff you should know because I want to know all that shit. Clearly, I've been listening for years because I like you two guys.
Yes.
I like your personalities, your interaction. You have, they have a long working career together and they have a flow and it works. Go talk about whatever the fuck you want. That's why I listen to your podcast, because you talk about stuff you should know is a little different. It's prepared material and all that. Mm-hmm. But yeah, you should go off on tangents. Opening up the market the way that podcasts have and giving people more choices, they're not choosing the traditional radio format.
Yeah, correct. If you want a traditional radio format, listen to traditional radio.
Yeah. Or, there are shows that kind of are structured like that. Like Adam Carolla is certainly based off of a morning show type of format, but he's also blown that wide apart and, did what he wanted to do ultimately.
So plenty of room for the ace man to go off on a tangent because he does quite frequently.
And nobody's leaning over saying, hit the time.
His Partridge Family based
right.
rants.
And
there's no program director losing his shit because you're up against the break.
So there's these celebrity personality driven podcasts that can have a format like that and probably always will have an audience. But there's just thousands upon thousands of hours of stuff that's just more conversational.
So even this show, there's commercials in this show, but we don't tailor the content around it. We just find a natural break in the conversation or subject switch. Boom. Next. We're not like, hey, and we're back. We don't do any of that crap.
Yeah. And I'm hearing a lot more of that from less of the live reads, Seems like I'm sure the companies that are paying for them like the live reads because it looks like, oh yeah, by the way.
No, because
do you like Reebok shoes, Chris?
Yeah, but
I just can't stop talking about them.
Because I do it in Drew and Mike podcast. Yeah. I fast forwarded through them. Adam Carolla. Pretty much, I fast forward the first 3 minutes of his show every day because it's all reads. It's the best part.
Oh, on Carolla's shows, it's like some of them are 5 minutes into it. You get past all the reads and ads and all that shit. It's getting a little out of hand.
But that's the best part. It is great. You can put 10 minutes. I just keep skipping.
Yeah.
In traditional radio, you're a prisoner. You have to hear the fucking commercials. I'm sure there's people that fast forward through the ones on ours. I don't care. We still get paid.
Yeah.
As long as you listen to the show, that's really all that I care about.
But as far as tangents, you're not going to please everyone. Somebody's going to complain about something all the time. But believe me, a lot of this podcasting is based on tangents.
Yeah. Now we're going to tangent into this.
I'm going to tangent the hell out of here.
Yeah. We're on anywhere you listen to podcasts. Oh, boy. Spreaker.com. So we should go first. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, ChristopherMedia.net, iHeartRadio. We're on Twitter at TheWeasel420, Instagram at TheWeasel Podcast. Email address is TheWeasel Podcast, ChristopherMedia.net, where there is an Amazon banner. Christmas shopping's coming up. Just saying. We're already blasted through most of August already when it just started. There's a PayPal button. You can subscribe or just donate. Whatever. You give $1 if you want. Check us out Tuesdays, Fridays, and stay high.
Stay high.
The Weedsman Podcast. ChristopherMedia.net.
It's a new year, and with T-Mobile, it's not about how far apart we are. It's about how close we can be. So we're bringing out our best deal. Right now, get the iPhone 12 on us on every single plan with eligible iPhone trade-in.
So I can FaceTime with my sister in Savannah.
That's right, the iPhone 12 on us on every plan. All on America's 5G leader in coverage. T-Mobile.
With 24 monthly bill credits and a new line plus tax. If you cancel, credit stop and balance on required finance agreement may be due. Contact us for well-qualified buyers. Qualifying consumer plan required. See coverage and offer details at T-Mobile.com.
Pros bring something extra to every job. Now at the Home Depot, they also get something extra. Pro Extra, our free loyalty program built for pros just like you. Members earn perks with every dollar spent, like Pro Extra Dollars, a tool rental credit, and more. New members get $20 off their next in-store purchase of $200 or more just for signing up. Learn more at HomeDepot.com/Pro Extra. New year, more rewards, Pro Extra, only at the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
ChristopherMedia.net. If you like this show, please tell a friend. Please make sure to rate and comment on all your favorite Christopher Media shows. Please follow us on Twitter and like and share us on Facebook. You can subscribe to all ChristopherMedia.net shows for free on ChristopherMedia.net. Thank you for listening, and thank you for visiting ChristopherMedia.net. Thank you for visiting ChristopherMedia.net.